What is up, guys? Lincoln in the building. Thank you for joining me for another episode of Dread Captures. We're gonna hop right into it. Our first clip is pretty cool. I do have to admit it fooled me out of the gates. You'll see this guy, he's holding a board, he's got pieces of meat on it. I'm thinking he's calling a Bigfoot. But no, check it out.
Okay, this clip is insane. Watch this. The man's calling.
All right, let's see if he'll come. Come on! Come on! Here he comes. Here he comes, coming through the trees. Watch him. Come on!
Unbelievable. The caption of the video said that the hawk came from over a quarter-mile away. And if we watch it again, you can see it weaving through the trees. I mean, it's just so impressive. He snatched both pieces, just like lightning. For a while now, popular YouTuber Bobby Bars has had this eerie feeling that his house might be haunted. The bizarre events happening around him became so frequent that he felt compelled to capture and share them on his YouTube channel, World Paranormal. In one particularly intriguing video, we find Bars in the midst of recording a TikTok. At the outset, it looks like a regular video of him showcasing his freestyling skills. However, as you watch closely, an unexpected occurrence unfolds in the background. A sonic stuffed animal, previously motionless, suddenly lifts its arms as if moved by an invisible hand. Many were quick to chalk it up to the antics of a poltergeist. And for those unfamiliar with that term, a poltergeist is believed to be a ghost or a supernatural being known for causing physical disturbances. This includes creating loud noises or even moving objects around. There's a split in belief when it comes to these entities. Some see poltergeists as malevolent spirits that aim to harm or frighten the living. On the other hand, some theorize that they might be manifestations of a person's subconscious emotions or pent-up feelings. Considering that Bobby Bars has previously noticed other unexplained happenings in his home, it raises the hair-raising question: is his house indeed the dwelling place of an unsettled spirit? You know that eerie feeling you get when you're out for a walk in the woods and you hear something just a bit off? That's exactly what sparked one man's curiosity, pushing him to bring his camera along on his trek. A decision he wouldn't regret. He captured something on film that's enough to make your hair stand on end. A colossal creature meandering through the woods. The footage is brief, but it's a few seconds of pure spine-tingling thrill. From a safe vantage point, he kept the lens trained on this mysterious figure until it vanished from view. After he posted the video online, he confessed how fortunate he felt that this formidable creature hadn't spotted him. Because had it turned its gaze his way, we might not be talking about this video at all. Some might say it's just an animal taking an unusual stroll on its hind legs, but I think the first thought for the majority of us is that that's Bigfoot. Whether you're a skeptic or a believer, there's no denying that the unknown has a certain allure. And this video just adds another layer to the mystery. Exploring in Paranormal is a rapidly rising YouTube channel that's gaining a lot of attention for its eerie adventures. Hosted by a guy named Nick, the show takes you on a journey all across North America, where he investigates places that are said to be haunted by ghosts or experience other kinds of supernatural phenomena. Nick dives into the history, he interviews locals, and uses specialized equipment to detect any activity. I mean, this guy is pretty fearless when it comes to seeking the unknown. But here's where things get even more interesting. In an upcoming clip, it looks like Nick won't have to travel too far to experience some supernatural chills. This time, the mysterious happenings are taking place right inside his home. For a while now, Nick has had this unsettling feeling that maybe, just maybe, his house itself could be haunted. He even wonders if he might have unintentionally brought back a spirit or some sort of entity from one of his many investigations. Nick is sitting in his living room casually watching TV, probably just unwinding after one of his excursions. Then suddenly, something absolutely eerie happens. A pen that was sitting still on the coffee table started to roll all by itself. The camera catches Nick's face and you can see his reaction, which looks pretty genuine. He appears visibly startled and perhaps even a little bit concerned. Now, this raises some compelling questions. Could Nick's home really be a hotspot for paranormal activity? Is it possible that he accidentally brought back something? Some unknown entity? Or is this a bit of planned paranormal activity? Maybe to drum up some interest? I'm not sure. The video has created a lot of suspense and viewers are already buzzing with theories, eager for more insights into this unsettling incident. Let me know what you guys think about this. So this video pops up on the internet and goes viral, gets everyone talking. As the video starts, this dog looks shook, barking at what seems to be thin air. And sure, dogs bark at nothing sometimes, but this is different. You can see it in its eyes. Out of nowhere, all of a sudden, something or someone invisible just gives it a shove. You can see the dog's feet slide across the ground. The whole scene set off alarm bells across the internet, especially among those who love a good ghost story. The people filming are just a family like any other, but they swear there's something off about their house. They talk about a presence, a ghostly figure that's taking a liking to their space. Here's the kicker. The presence that they think is haunting their home looks just like the mother and her middle daughter, right down to the shared height and the color of their hair. Well, one night things get real. The mother sees what she thinks is her daughter leaving the bathroom. Checking her room to see if she's okay, she finds her daughter tucked in, sound asleep. Fast forward to the next night and it's the husband's turn for a scare. He spots a figure that looks uncannily like his wife, but he just left her. He knows she's busy in the kitchen. Her laughter, he can hear it down the hall. The next day they say screw this, they are packing up, they are moving. The entity can have the house and all the mysteries inside of it. And I guess really the funniest part about all of this is that the dog video wasn't even the main focus. They had just filmed that because they thought it was kind of odd. Come to find out, that was their digital proof, their little slice of the unexplainable. They're still piecing it together, but they're wondering how they missed all the strangeness in that moment. Anyhow, it makes you think. Leaves you wondering about the unseen forces that might be sharing our space. Imagine cruising down Route 51 in Jefferson County when suddenly it's like a scene from a high-stakes action movie. Power lines are tumbling down onto the road, the scene is chaotic. Well, that's exactly what happened to Amber Rivas. Her dash cam caught the heart-stopping moment. With the quick thinking and even quicker reflexes, Amber swerved off the road just in time to dodge the descending chaos. It was a close call, the kind that spikes your adrenaline and leaves your heart racing. She later shared the footage on Facebook, giving a shout out to the kind souls who pulled over to help. It's a stark reminder of how quickly things can turn perilous on the road. There's the threat of electrocution, and let's not forget the potential fireworks if a live wire decides to spark up a vehicle's fuel. But the danger isn't just from those things. The massive weight of a power line is enough to wreak havoc on any person. Luckily for her, in a twist of good fortune, the wires didn't dance too close to her car, leaving her in the car unscathed. It makes you think, though.
That really makes you think, though, doesn't it? I mean, how quickly in the blink of an eye things can change. You know, the power lines are kind of the sentinel of our streets. They're just completely unnoticed until, well, they're not. They're flailing all around all over the place. We rely on a lot of powerful things.
In this fascinating video, which comes to us courtesy of ex-user named Cidio Paranormal, we get a look at some pretty intriguing security footage. This clip was captured at an undisclosed location, sometime in late 2020. It's just about midnight, so you can imagine the eeriness that hangs in the air. That's when the camera picks up something really kinda odd. We see a mysterious white wisp that darts across the screen, moving quickly from the left to right. This isn't your typical floating dust particle or a weird light reflection that you might dismiss as a camera glitch. No, I think this is something different. Something that is really after your attention. Opinions of what we are looking at are all over the place. Some people just think it's a spectral spirit floating through the air. Personally, I feel like it resembles a serpent-like creature, just slithering around, slithering through the air. Others think it's a host or some type of manipulation, say that it looks too much like the classical ghost you might see, white and see-through, almost like it came from a book. A user on Reddit recently shared some home security footage that has left many people, both skeptics and believers, perplexed. This video was actually recorded by the user's co-worker in the Tampa, Florida area. What's captured in the footage seems pretty odd. Now, the Tampa region is famously known for its sudden afternoon rain showers around this time of the year. This prevalent weather pattern makes it a challenge to conclusively determine if the figure in the video is merely a product of these conditions, or if there's a more supernatural explanation at play. On getting deeper into the footage, some viewers have made an interesting observation. When the video is zoomed in and played in slow-mo, it looks as though the shadowy figure reaches out to grab something before proceeding forward. This moment has intensified the debate. Is this a ghostly apparition? Or is this just a glitch, a hoax, an anomaly, something with the security camera? Anyhow, as this footage continues to make its rounds online and garners more views, people's curiosity keeps growing. The puzzling, almost mist-like figure in the video leaves everyone with more questions than answers. There's something about the night that amplifies the mysterious, don't you think? It was during one of these nocturnal hours that a mom and daughter pulled up to their home. The family security cam was just watching. This wasn't just any homecoming though. They live on a cozy farm where the animals have enough personality to rival a room full of toddlers. It's never dull, it's more like running a furry daycare than a farm. But the one who really takes the cake? Scott. The dog with enough antics to have his own reality TV show. Mary Carmen, the daughter and self-dubbed animal whisperer of the place, especially adores Scott. She even likens him to the infamous dancing celebrity dogs. Whether he's tangoing solo or hitching rides on boats, Scott is a character. But one night the stage went dark. Returning from a family dinner, they found Scott silent and still in his bed. A heartbreaking finale to his day's escapades. Days passed in a haze of sorrow before Mary Carmen checked the security footage from that night. And there it was, an image that brought fresh tears. A canine shape at the gate. Was this just an optical illusion or something more? Mary Carmen felt for sure it was Scott, lingering around near the afterlife, waiting to say one last goodbye. She believes he held on just long enough for that final farewell. And so for them, this footage becomes more than just a photo. It's a comfort, a hint that our loved pets might stick around just out of sight. But like all unexplained phenomena, it's up to you to decide. Just a shadow? Or Scott's spirit saying, "It's okay guys, I'm still here."
Okay, so I'm sure you can imagine that each week I pour over hundreds and hundreds of videos. Sometimes I'll find videos that don't quite fit the niche, but are still pretty interesting, and that's what this one is. And it's therapeutic. It's definitely therapeutic.
Yeah!
Take a look at this chilling image. While not the intended subject of this photograph, it steals the spotlight the moment you see it peeking out from behind the trees. The distinctive canine face and upright position give away its identity immediately. We are looking at none other than the fabled Wolfman. These creatures are rarely ever spotted in the wild. Some people in the paranormal community even theorize that there have been attempts by the government to cover up their existence. If you haven't heard of the Wolfman before, it is described as a wolf-human hybrid. It has the face of a wolf and is completely covered in fur. However, it is reported that this creature can walk on both 2 legs and 4. It is also reported to have hands similar to those of a human. If you think we are talking about a werewolf, you are wrong. The Wolfman does not change from human to wolf on a full moon. It is always in this form. In fact, if you saw one from a distance, you might just think you saw a very large wolf. They go to great lengths to conceal their identities from humans. They may be even more elusive than Bigfoot. This one in the image seems to have been caught off guard as it investigates the people in the photograph. Perhaps the creature is young and just being inquisitive, or maybe hunger drove it out and it was looking for an easy meal. Or we could be looking at a fake. That is a possibility too. Let me know your theories in the comments. Have you ever heard of the Wolfman? Do you think they are real, or are they a creature straight out of a myth? Take a look at this photograph of a calico cat. The camera used to capture the beautiful house pet was clearly not made for night photography, as there is a large reflection of the flash directly in the center of the image. But I digress. That isn't the reason it is featured here on our channel. Take a look in the shadows directly behind the cat. What do you see? There is another set of eyes glowing against the darkness. While you might jump to the conclusion that it is another cat, take a closer look. You can see the faint outline of a face. The creature sporting those uncanny glowing eyes appears to have some resemblance to a human, but it is anything but. The mysterious cryptid's identity is unable to be confirmed, so we can only guess. Whatever it is, it appears to be fixated on the cat. There was no context given with this submission, so we can only hope the cat made it safely inside after this unnerving photo was taken. What are your thoughts? What do you think the creature is? Our next clip is a familiar face. I don't have to tell you that this still image taken from an Oregon trail camera features a Bigfoot. The question I have for you is, are we looking at authentic photographic evidence, or is it another fake making its way around the internet? If we examine it, we can see this creature's face looks more like an ape than most descriptions of Bigfoot. Most people who encounter the bipedal primate describe the face as a mixture of ape and human, with eerily human-like eyes. But since there are so few clear images of the cryptid, who can say what is accurate and what is not until we have further evidence? We've discussed Bigfoot theories on this channel before, one of which is that the creature we call Bigfoot is simply a large undocumented primate living in small populations across North America. Elusive, yes, but not necessarily what we would call a cryptid. But let us know what you think. With so many sightings of Bigfoot over the years, there is likely at least some truth to the creature's existence. But where is the line between myth and fact? In British Columbia, a man without any weapons was enjoying a calm walk when he suddenly found himself being followed closely by a curious mountain lion. At first, he took out his camera to record the lion, which was sneaking up on him through the tall grass. I guess that's what you do when you don't have a gun. You pull out your phone to capture your potential death. Anyhow.
This is really freaky. That is a mountain lion. And he's stalking me.
The two of them looked at each other for a long time, but then the lion decided he wanted a closer look, so he closed the distance between them.
Hey, Mr. Mountain Lion. How are you doing?
Feeling pretty freaked out, the man stood still as the lion walked around him, watching him. sizing him up. They had another long staring contest. Later, the video shows the man further up the path, but the lion is still there. She followed him the entire time. I don't know if the lion was tired or just decided it didn't want to risk injury trying to procure her lunch. But luckily, after some time, she decided to leave, and the man was able to breathe a massive sigh of relief.
Stay back. Stay there. I'm not afraid of you.
The man, as you can imagine, hightailed it to his vehicle and got the heck out of there. Quite the story he has. Here is a brief excerpt from a longer video that some daring explorers shot while looking into an abandoned building. This has actually become a fairly popular hobby over the past few years, believe it or not. Videos of people exploring old and abandoned structures have gained quite a bit of popularity on social media recently. In this clip, we either have a doctored fake or a disturbing encounter with a dangerous cryptid. You'll have to be the final judge of this clip's authenticity. But first, let's take a closer look and see if we can find anything telling in the clip. The footage takes us through what appears to be an abandoned shed filled with junk and what looks to be unused building materials. And then, amongst the debris, we find a creature. It looks almost human in some respects, but it is clearly anything but. Its legs and arms are thin to the point of malnutrition. It does not appear to have any hair on its head that we can see. The quality of the footage is extremely poor, but from what we can see, I would guess this creature to be a crawler. Crawlers often dwell in caves or very secluded forests, so it's not surprising that one would take up in an abandoned building such as this. If that is indeed the case, these videographers are lucky to have escaped with their lives. Crawlers have been blamed for many unexplained disappearances, and if we are to believe the stories, they are extremely dangerous creatures. But what do you think? Are these cryptids real? Or are they just a widespread myth? Let me know your ideas in the comments. Here's something we can say we've never seen before on this channel. Take a look at this dragon skeleton laid out in an open field. It even has what appears to be fresh blood and skin fragments on it. Needless to say, we're a bit skeptical, all things considered. The dragon was found in a Chinese province, but not much is known about its origin. It is very likely we are looking at a hoax that someone went to great lengths to create. After all, if there were dragons living on this earth with us, we would know about them, right? A dragon isn't something that could easily disappear into the remote wilderness like many of the other cryptids we feature on this channel. Well, that's not quite the case. This particular specimen might very well be a fake, but there could be some truth hidden in the story somewhere. Let me take you across the ocean to the Yucatan Peninsula for a moment. There have been a few stories in that area of strange discoveries, possibly involving the remains of dragons. Eyewitness reports claim to have found skeletal remains of these mythical creatures preserved in cenotes, or underwater caves. Cenotes themselves are an interesting phenomenon and can be quite dangerous to explore. The cave systems are dark and easy to get lost in, so exploration of them isn't taken lightly. However, there have been some impressive finds deep in these underwater caves. Researchers have found bones of prehistoric Ice Age creatures as well as ancient humans. But there have been rumors of other finds as well. Discoveries that haven't been released to the public as of yet. The creatures they found check just about every box we have for a dragon. And here's the reason this whole dragon theory might not be as far-fetched as we previously thought. These dragons are actually gigantic sea serpents. Think about it for a moment. We've discovered more of outer space than we have of the Earth's deep sea. It's certainly not impossible for a creature to conceal itself in such a place. The reports of the Yucatan dragons are that they have snake-like bodies and lizard-like reptilian heads, often adorned with horns or antlers of some type. The interesting thing regarding the stories of these spectacular finds is that there seems to be some sort of cover-up going on. Twice, eyewitnesses have claimed to have found skeletal remains, and both times the remains were taken away to be studied, and their existence has been denied by scientists ever since. If there was an easy explanation, they wouldn't be so secretive with their answers. Again, none of these eyewitness accounts can be verified, and the evidence of these creatures' existence seems to disappear just as quickly as it is found. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Do you think this Chinese dragon in the image could be real? And what about the stories of the dragon-like sea serpents? Might they actually exist somewhere deep in the ocean, or are they just another myth? Next, we have two boys out at night exploring a creepy location around their hometown. If you've ever seen the movie It, you'll know to stay well enough away from sewers, but that's exactly where these two boys end up. The footage isn't the clearest since it was taken in low-light conditions, but we can clearly see a large grate over a foreboding-looking sewer entrance. Look to the right side of the grate, and you will see a creature rising from a crouching position. But what the heck is it? It is difficult to make out any identifying features, but it almost looks like a monkey. We've all heard of the numerous reports of Bigfoot, but there have been sightings of other primates throughout North America as well. These creatures are much smaller and often described as a mix between a human and a monkey. It is unknown what they actually are, but there have been enough reports of them to make me think they could be real. If I had to make a guess, this creature appears to be one of those monkey people. The two boys filming didn't stick around to get any more footage of the beast, so we won't be able to make a positive identification. In hindsight, they were smart to get out of there when they did. While Bigfoot seems to be mostly harmless, reports of the monkey people have been a little more frightening. They don't seem to be quite as peaceful. In Colorado Springs, something really unusual happened in the sky, and it got a lot of attention on TikTok. In the video, you can spot two mysterious dark objects hovering in midair.
That's in the sky right now, everybody.
The person who uploaded the video said he was just hanging out in his car when these strange objects caught his eye. When he zoomed in for a closer look, the floating figures resembled dementors, those eerie, soul-sucking creatures from the Harry Potter series.
In the sky. Like, I'm in my car, just chilling.
But here's where it gets interesting. Someone else commented on the video to share their own experience. According to this person, they live in the same area and have seen the exact same thing. However, they went on to explain that there's a man who lives nearby who is known for flying kites that look just like the mysterious objects spotted in the video. Perhaps that makes more sense. So, the big question is, what are we actually seeing here? Are these just creatively designed kites that someone is flying for fun? Or could they be something much more mysterious and otherworldly? The jury's still out, but it's definitely sparking a lot of conversation and leaving people wondering what's really going on in the skies over Colorado Springs. There's this TikToker who found something really wild during their day at the beach. The video they posted shows what looks like a mysterious creature that's washed up on the shore. From the looks of it, this thing has been dead for some time because its body is starting to break down and decompose. The first thing that jumps out at you is its mouth. It's gaping wide open like it's in a state of permanent surprise. Then you see its body, which is long and stretched out on the sand, as if it's been pulled like taffy. And you can't miss that head. It's huge. People who've seen the video are just going nuts trying to figure out what this thing is. The theories are all over the place. Some people are guessing it's a weird doll or prop, while others swear it has to be some undiscovered sea creature. Now, if we're talking sea creatures, the big burning question is, what exactly could this be? I mean, we can pretty much say it's not a seal, right? Because this creature has these skinny legs, and we all know that seals are legless. They just have flippers. There's also another intriguing idea floating around the internet. Some people are suggesting that this could be the result of some sort of scientific experiment gone wrong, like something disposed of from a government lab. Whatever it is, it's got everyone super curious and buzzing with all kinds of wild guesses. So now I've got to hear from you. What's your take on this whole mystery? What do you think this creature might be? You know, we've seen our fair share of UFOs pop up now and then. Most of the time, they show up when the night sky is as clear as glass, or even in broad daylight with the sun shining down. But this recent sighting, man, it's a whole different ballgame. Believe it or not, this UFO decided to make its grand entrance during a thunderstorm. So here's how it all went down. An Instagram user uploaded a video that's got people buzzing like crazy. What's even crazier is that it looks like the person who captured this incredible footage was actually cruising down the highway in a moving car when it happened. But hold on, because it gets even more intriguing. Just as a bolt of lightning illuminates the sky like some kind of cosmic flashlight, this UFO suddenly appears and starts hovering in midair. I mean, it's like it materialized out of thin air. Now, as you can imagine, the video has led to all kinds of wild speculation. Some people are saying that the UFO might be tapping into the energy of the thunderstorm or the lightning bolt itself. You know how we plug our phones into a wall outlet to juice them up? They're suggesting it might be something like that, but on a cosmic scale. It's like the UFO's own personal charging station or something. But of course, not everyone's buying it. There are skeptics in the mix, too. A couple of people in the comments have started raising eyebrows, claiming the lightning in the video looks a bit sketchy. They're saying it could be fake, possibly whipped up with some computer graphics. So there you have it. Whether it's a genuine sighting or just some well-done special effects, this UFO video is definitely stirring the pot and giving us all something to talk about. Somewhere out in the brush, 4 buddies happened upon a trapped yet very aggressive mountain lion and decided they had to help. Upon noticing the distressed creature stuck in a trap, they armed themselves with control poles, similar to what animal control would use, and very cautiously went closer. I mean, these guys are one slip away from a nasty injury, or worse.
If he comes to you, he'll get you there. Yeah, come in from the side. Don't fall down.
It'd be nearly impossible to get that scared cat's jaws open if she clamped down on a body part. Well, as suspected, the wild cougar wasn't pleased with this good deed.
We got it. Michael, we're good. You gotta hold him for a sec. Okay, we're done.
Okay, Charlie, get away from there.
After strategizing their move, one man valiantly tries to latch onto the animal with his pole, aiming to draw it closer. The ensuing moments must have provided the biggest adrenaline rush. Finally, with the beast free from its snare, the man holding the pole has only one option: let go and dip out of there. As the cat scampered off, they were able to grab their control pole and continue their day with a sense of accomplishment. Pretty awesome. Let me know if you'd help the lion out or if you'd stay away. Typically, supposed encounters with Bigfoot are recorded using grainy cameras from far away, but we've struck gold this time. We've obtained a crystal clear high-definition video from a bow hunting excursion in September 2023, just to the east of the Bee Park boundary. In this video, we see an expansive view of a thick forest, and amidst the greenery, there's a tall, dark figure, bulky and seemingly covered in a shaggy coat of black hair. At a glance, it could be mistaken for a gorilla, yet we're all aware that gorillas aren't native to these areas. This creature ambles off with an unhurried gait, apparently reaching out for something. After a bit, it spins around, and it becomes evident it's grasping a large limb, which it smashes against a tree with such vigor that the sound bellows through the woodland. Then, the being flings the limb toward the camera before vanishing into the wild. This creature appears to have intelligence. It realized it was under surveillance and targeted the camera deliberately. Naturally, Bigfoot springs to mind, and this may well be the most unambiguous footage of it to date. Of course, skepticism suggests this could be a fake, merely someone costumed as Bigfoot, and initially I leaned towards skepticism, but the final frames throw that into question. The face, seen from afar, looks incredibly authentic, not like a mask. If this truly is Bigfoot, the implications are monumental. The power and precision displayed in throwing objects are characteristics distinct to humans. No gorilla or other ape exhibits this level of skill. This might suggest Bigfoot shares a closer link to us than any known species. I'd love to know your thoughts on this epic video. My son and I have a few dirt bikes that we like to run through the woods when we can. But if I'm being honest, this video has given me a little pause. Captured by a local during a ride in the woods, the footage begins with scenic views of the forest and a clear trail. But as the guys continued to ride their four-wheelers, a large and towering figure abruptly crossed in front of them. Shocked by the sudden appearance of this hairy creature, they immediately dipped off the trail and hightailed it back the way they came. Now, what in the heck was that? On closer inspection of the video, slowed down, a large figure emerges with characteristics similar to Bigfoot, displaying a humanoid stride and a powerful physique. Even though the encounter was fleeting, it'll definitely leave you wondering whether it truly was Bigfoot or merely someone pulling a stunt on the rider. I do have to say that the way that guy whips his four-wheeler to the left upon first sight of this beast, that looks genuine. It could have just been good timing and a good hoax. But I think little instances like this strengthen the case for validity. Let me know your thoughts. Full disclosure, I love these types of freaky mysteries. Okay, so this person on Reddit posted a really intriguing photo from their mom's baby shower. What makes the picture stand out is that right next to the mom, there's a frame showing what appears to be a blurry image of an old woman. The kicker? It's not a real photo. It looks more like a ghostly figure. What's even weirder is that the mom has absolutely no idea who this mysterious woman could be. Now, get this. The frame was actually supposed to contain a picture of a snowy landscape, not an old woman or a ghost or anything like that. The family is pretty certain that the appearance of the mysterious figure isn't the result of some technical glitch like double exposure. Why? Because the way the figure appears in the frame is just too precise to be a mistake. It's not like she's off to the side or anything. She's front and center. Of course, as you'd expect, the comment section went wild with speculation. One person suggested that the ghost could have been one of the guests at the baby shower. Another commenter threw out the idea that maybe the frame had been reused, and the image of the old woman was some sort of residual imprint from a previous picture. Some people even thought it could be a reflection of someone or something in the room. So, what's your take on this? It's a pretty strange snapshot, wouldn't you agree? Encountering Bigfoot or other legendary beasts is always quite disturbing, but coming across an entity so odd that you can't even name it escalates the fear and discomfort immensely. There's a video from Australia that captures something particularly odd. It's filmed at night and we see some shrubbery. What seems to be an animal is lurking in the high grass. At a glance, it might resemble a bear, but upon closer inspection, as it nears, its bizarre and unknown features are revealed. The creature, large in size, moves on all fours. As it gets closer to the individual filming, it seems to lunge, but the person behind the camera quickly dodges the advance. Some could speculate it's just an individual in a strange Bigfoot suit, aiming to spook the guy filming. Yet, its gait is too atypical for a person. What do you guys think this entity might be? The local police in Evansville, Wyoming are currently investigating an unusual discovery near Veterans Bridge. They found some mysterious, large footprints in the mud and decided to set up a trail camera in hopes of finding out what creature these prints might belong to. Initially, they thought a mountain lion could be the culprit, especially given that the area is known for its wildlife. Over time, the camera captured a variety of animals wandering by. They saw raccoons, turkeys, a skunk, a fox, and even a deer. But what really caught everyone's attention was an unexpected figure that appeared on camera. A human-like shape dressed in white athletic wear. What made it even more mysterious was that the face of this figure seemed to be burnt or disfigured in some way. And let's not forget the unusually long hands and pointy fingers. There was even a close-up shot of the creature's face, which is difficult to describe but definitely doesn't look human. People who've seen the video footage are split on what it could be. Some are skeptical, thinking it might be someone playing a prank. They argue that someone might have found out about the trail camera and decided to mess with everyone by wearing a mask or some sort of disguise. On the other side of the coin, you have those who believe in the paranormal. They're convinced that this could very well be a ghost or some other supernatural entity. So, the question remains, what do you think this mysterious creature could be? Blackbird State Forest is a sprawling 6,000-acre preserve in Delaware, straddling both New Castle and Kent counties just north of the town of Smyrna. Boasting 10 distinct tracts of land, this forest offers over 40 miles of trails that are accessible to the public throughout the year. People flock here to walk, hike, run, cycle, and go horseback riding. In addition to these outdoor activities, the forest allows hunting, fishing, picnicking, and even some primitive camping. The forest's long-term management plans aim to balance timber production with wildlife habitat conservation, outdoor recreation, soil and water protection, as well as the safeguarding of wetlands and endangered species. Public education is also a key focus. But Blackbird State Forest has a more somber history, too. On September 20th, 1986, a young researcher named Jane Pritchard from the University of Maryland visited the forest to study wild hog peanut plants. Tragically, her research trip took a horrific turn. Jane was murdered, and her partially unclothed body was found in a secluded area of the trail. Adding to the forest's eerie reputation, a Redditor recently shared a video clip of a nighttime scene at one of the campsites. The area appears entirely deserted. As the camera pans around, a pair of eyes suddenly become visible, seemingly watching from the dark. This particular site, known as Campsite B08, is frequented by hunters and is quite remote, situated far from other camping areas and offering a sense of isolation. Over the years, campers have reported an unsettling feeling of being watched while in the forest. Furthermore, the area was once home to the Lenape Native American tribe, and there have been reports of a ghostly woman wandering the trails after dark. So the question that looms, could the eyes captured in that nighttime video clip belong to the mysterious creature rumored to be watching campers in the dark? Mountain biker Jose usually posts videos on TikTok that showcase his favorite biking trails, crazy stunts, and of course just the sheer joy of riding. But one video turned out to be quite different than what he's used to sharing. While he and his buddies were out on a night ride, their GoPro cameras rolling, they thought it was just another routine descent down the mountain. Everything seemed totally normal. Or at least, that's what they thought at the time. Maybe it was the adrenaline pumping through their veins, making everything else fade into the background. But they completely missed something, or someone, strange on the trail that night. It was only when they were reviewing the footage that they saw it. A dark, almost semi-transparent figure standing right there on the path, mere inches away from them as they zoomed by. This mysterious figure wasn't just standing there. It looked eerie. Dressed in a long, dark robe and sporting long hair that partly obscured its face, the figure was hard to describe. What stood out the most were its incredibly dark, large eyes, and a face so pale it was almost ghostly. Jose and his friends are still scratching their heads, trying to figure out what exactly they captured on camera. Was it a trick of the light, a person, or something more supernatural? They can't explain it. What's your take on this mysterious entity? On April 23, 2006, police arrested a man who appeared to be in his late 20s or early 30s for behaving suspiciously. The man, who looked utterly bewildered, kept asking what year it was. He introduced himself as Sergei Ponomarenko and claimed that just a few moments ago he was living in the year 1958. Naturally, the police were skeptical and asked for identification. The moment Sergei handed over his ID, the officers were stunned. His identification was the kind issued to citizens during the era of the Soviet Union, a state that dissolved in 1991 when Ukraine gained its independence. His ID was, at the very least, 15 years outdated. According to Sergei, the last memory he had was of walking through Kiev with his fiancée, Valentina Kurish. The couple had paused to take a photo using Sergei's vintage camera when he spotted something peculiar in the sky. He described the mysterious object as bell-shaped and moving erratically. Curious. He tried to snap a picture of it, and the next thing he knew, he was in the year 2006. Because Sergei's camera was an antique, the film couldn't be developed using modern techniques. A photography expert was brought in to handle the old film. To everyone's astonishment, the film wasn't just old. It was a specific type that had been discontinued in the 1970s. Nonetheless, it was in pristine condition. When the photos were finally developed, they showed scenes of Kiev from the 1950s, an image of a woman who appeared to be around the same age as Sergei, and a shot of Sergei himself wearing the same clothes he had on during his police interview. The kicker: there was a photograph of a bell-shaped UFO, precisely as he had described. The police managed to locate a photograph of Sergei's fiancée, Valentina Krish, and went to interview her. They found Valentina, now an elderly woman in her 70s. She confirmed that her fiancé, Sergei Ponomarenko, had indeed gone missing for a few days back in 1958. Recently, a YouTuber named Joe Scott delved into this perplexing tale and found some inconsistencies. For instance, he pointed out that the buildings in the background of Sergei's future photograph appeared to be duplicated or possibly cloned. Upon further research, he found that they originated from a Ukrainian TV show called Aliens. This show even had a disclaimer stating, "All scene restorations are based on the statements of witnesses. There is no conclusive evidence to prove the existence of aliens." So, what do you think? Is Sergei's story an astonishing truth, or just a masterfully executed hoax? A Reddit user shared a video that he alleges shows a Bigfoot near his property. Captured by his outdoor security camera, the footage shows a fence, and beyond it, a thickly wooded area. Initially, something stirs within the trees, vaguely visible. It seems to cautiously peek from behind a trunk before boldly stepping into full view, presenting a tall, humanoid shape draped in dark fur, reminiscent of Bigfoot. The unsettling part of the footage is the creature's behavior. It stands still, as though it's observing the house, possibly looking for someone or something within. Now, if I were in the homeowner's shoes, I'd seriously think about some other precautions. I mean, that flimsy metal fence isn't going to keep a beast of that size out, regardless of whether that is Bigfoot or not. When this particular video hit the internet, it left everyone astonished and sparked a variety of theories about the nature of this crazy being. The person who filmed it claimed to have come across this peculiar creature deceased on the ground during his routine morning walk. Judging by the state of the body, which had begun to decay, it appeared to have been lying there for some time. For some viewers, the remains resembled an alien. For others, an object involved in witchcraft. perhaps a witch's doll, and many suggested it looked like the unfortunate remains of an animal's unborn young that had met an untimely end. No satisfactory explanation has ever surfaced. So as you can imagine, the intrigue surrounding the video presses on. This next video is pretty creepy. You need a sharp eye to catch the petrifying truth hidden within its frames. Get ready to analyze every moment, because this one will leave you questioning everything. Meet Connor, just your average guy coming home late, thinking it's a normal night. But little does he know, something eerie's unfolding right behind him. As he stops in his tracks, you can see it in his eyes. He senses something's off. And he's not wrong. He checks over his shoulder as if he's got that feeling someone or something is lurking in the shadows. He brushes it off, fumbling with his keys in his hand. And you can tell his adrenaline is pumping and he's uneasy. As he's about to open his front door, curiosity gets the best of him and he looks back once more. I mean, can you blame him? But here's the creepy twist. The street's as empty as can be. There isn't a soul in sight, yet he can't shake that feeling of being watched. But you know what they say? Sometimes the things you can't see are the things you should fear the most. When Connor finally reviews the CCTV footage, his blood runs cold. There, just at the front of his yard, is a dark and shadowy figure like something straight out of a horror movie. Now, like me, you might be wondering, where did this ghostly apparition come from? And more importantly, why was it even following Connor on that ominous night? Could it be a lost soul, a spirit, or something else? A camera glitch? Let me know what you think. We've got a video posted online by Zoe all the way from Perth, Australia. Now, Zoe's no ordinary nurse. She's a night shift nurse at a hospital, and she's got quite the story to share. In this eerie hospital, there's a room that creeps everyone out that works there. It doesn't discriminate to doctors, nurses, and all staff alike are freaked out. People claim they've seen chairs moving on their own, and the temperature takes a very noticeable drop in that exact area. But the real shocker comes when Zoe and her colleagues decide to investigate the strange occurrences. They gather around to watch the security footage, and what they see will make your heart skip a beat. The lights start to flicker, but that's not all. A dark figure begins to emerge from the shadows, going back and forth in a haunting pattern. And as if that wasn't creepy enough, this mysterious figure blocks the camera view, leaving them in the dark. What could this dark entity be? And why is it haunting this hospital room? Is it a lost soul, trapped between this world and the next seeking solace? Or could it be something far more dangerous, with sinister intentions?